Recording is in progress.
Open house for past clients and
Okay, per usual, let's start with something good.
for both.
Some good bucket fills. What do we got? Chris wants to say something.
Right back to the owner, and they're gonna start moving in on Saturday, so done.
Should I go down the street and welcome them?
You should. I think you get along with the wife really well.
Maybe after one of their levels, I'll go with them.
With your elevation back up?
Yeah, with the elevation mask. All right, what else? What else is good? Derek.
I'd like to fill Kimberly Reeves and Amy Black's buckets. They did open houses for me this weekend at a new listing in Minnetonka, and they had 30 to 40 people per day.
Wow.
Per day.
Per day.
Wow.
Sold in multiple offers, we had 7 offers. They did a great job.
Wow. What is the
Thank
price
you.
point on that?
$475.
Oh, wow. All right. So open houses work.
I mean,
I like them. Yeah. It's been like 8 times.
I know Kimberly had a number of people she was following up with. A couple of them wanted to make offers,
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
great. So.
Oh, awesome. What else? What else is good? Bucket fills, anything awesome, potentially Montana, birthdays, I don't know. How was it? Okay. Okay, great. All right, two more bucket fills.
A lot of people.
I know.
Jacob tried to teach me how to dance at a wedding on Friday. I failed, but it was still super fun and he's a good teacher.
So funny. Tried. All right, what else?
Learner, I think. He's a good teacher.
You know what? We all learn at our own pace. All doing.
I know Jenna, I know Garrett.
Last week.
Oh, Eric.
Eric, I'm bucket filling you.
What?
You're getting a bucket fill
Yeah.
right now.
Last week, we just grabbed a coffee and like had a conversation, a lot of good ideas. It was just nice little suggestions.
Awesome.
Yeah, good, but there was-
All right. Moving on, we got a lot to cover in this meeting. So May training calendar is out. We have a lot of really, really great things happening, but I want to focus on one thing next week. So May 9th, we have Red Day, and currently we only have 3 people signed up.
Right now it's 11.
Oh, it's 11 now. Okay, you're like, no, it's not. Our whole team just signed up.
11 is still not enough.
No, it is not. So it is.
Okay.
John's coming. Who signed up so far? Who's going to sign up?
John just signed up.
It's really fun, no matter what. Candy, what are we doing?
We are doing Heather's favorite thing, which is what?
We are picking mustard seed.
Picking mustard.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, it's something we used to do, agents that have been here for a while. We did it back in the day.
Is it worse than putting together furniture? Probably not. All right, so picking mustard seeds.
And then we're mulching some gardens and cleaning up around like a playground at Linear Park, which is close to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's from 11 to 2, so it's, it's a certain time frame, which I appreciate. I think other people appreciate knowing a start and end time. And then we are joining the Edina Market Center, so we'll be doing that with them.
They're joining us.
They're joining us, yeah.
John's like, let's be very clear.
So we'll get to be together and just do some, I'm hoping.
Do we need to bring any tools, gloves?
If you have them, you want to bring gardening gloves and also maybe some eye protection. I don't know.
Eye protection?
Wear sunglasses. Yeah, wear
Are
sunglasses.
mustard seeds wicked or
I
what?
don't know, actually, or maybe mulch dust. I don't.
Okay, all right.
Gloves and eyewear were recommended.
Okay, but like anything else we didn't, they have? Okay, awesome. Any questions around Red Day? Does everybody have a Red Day t-shirt? Do we have Red Day t-shirts that they can get? Okay.
T-shirts
So we usually all wear a Red Day t-shirt. So there's a lot of new faces in here that have never done this before. So we have a Red Day t-shirt. We wear that, which actually starts some really cool conversations. I mean, is she in here?
Yeah, last
We have a new agent from Red Day, actually, last year. Just asked a ton of questions. when we were there and was like, I'd like to get my real estate license, and she just got licensed last month with us. So, there's really fun connections with the community during this.
Gonna be 63 and cloudy.
Oh,
Perfect.
perfect. Still wear sunscreen just in case, but perfect.
They
All right.
hooked me up with that last year. Thank you.
All right, so, MLS tips and tricks with David Zimmerman is gonna be on May tomorrow. In person here, you can also get that on Zoom. So, that's one where you'll have both options. Sometimes you don't have that with those classes, so you'll have Zoom and in person. A lunch and learn, I don't know if you guys remember, but Innovative Basements was here, and I think we went over by like 25 minutes in one of our team meetings. Because as much as you think it's not interesting, they had such great information about really easy fixes where, like, if a staircase is pulling away from the house, right? They see that often, and they actually had quotes for that, that could be helpful. So this is gonna be a really awesome class, because I wish that he would have went on for like another hour that time. And that's May 7th, 11 to 12. And then the required module, do we still have openings to that, or is that full?
When I checked this morning, there was 4 spots left.
Okay, so there's 4 spots left for the required module on May 8th. Again, it is required, so if you don't have that yet, go ahead and sign up for that, because in person is always, better than online.
I signed up.
I signed up too. I'll see you there.
I also signed
Me
up.
too.
Oh, we're all gonna be there. All right, next.
All over that, Candy?
I just would really like to point out that our every meal, is not looking awesome. So please, send this out. Let's see if we can really make a push in this last week to, make that 5,000. It's such a good, you know,
I have been talking to a lot of people about social media posts lately, and they don't know what to post. This would be an awesome thing to post multiple times in the next week in various different ways, whether or not it's on your feed, whether or not it's on your story. Maybe it's on your story 3 times. But this would be a really good option to get out there to the public, your clients, your friend, your sphere, in helping raise some money for a really great cause. So we are starting our block party again. I don't know if you guys remember this last year. It's every other week, and we are starting it on May 15th. The ALC is kicking that off. So what we do is we have someone sponsor it every other week. A lot of times it's either teams or vendors, or sometimes it's individual agents, and they provide whatever the food is for that particular day. We really love hot dogs and brats because it's easier to grill versus people asking for medium or medium well burgers. So next, May 15th, it's 12 to 1. It's fun, great conversation, and weather permitting, we always bring it inside either way. Heather?
Just ALC is signed up first. We'll have a sign up sheet at the front desk. If anyone would like to sign up right now, feel free to pick a date.
Awesome. Great North, this is you. So we want to introduce Great North title. I know some of it. Are you guys all coming up? I was like, are you guys all coming up? Some of the agents use a Great North title right now. Some of you, this will be a new introduction. So I'll let you guys take it over, and they are our preferred title company.
Hello, guys. I'm Kayla Johnson. Nice to meet you all. This is Brittany McGoy. She is our CEO and founder of Great North Title. This is Mel. She's the point guard here at Minnetonka. So she eventually will have an office up here. Currently, she is downstairs. So she's the closer. And then this is Jackie. Jackie is Mel's coordinator. And together, they've been in title for over 15 years.
Do it this way if you want. No, you know what's fun though about this is that like the closing is always kind of behind the scenes, and you can tell the personality types. So like, I'm gonna stand over there and not say anything.
Little bit. So this is the team that you will be working with. They also have an admin. Her name is Kelly. So she does all the scheduling for you guys, and for your agents. And the nice thing about Mel too is if you guys have clients that are not around here, Mel will go anywhere to close them. Coffee shops, nursing homes, really anywhere that you can sit down and she can stamp her stamp and talk docs. So it will clean out for you guys. So this is your team.
Great. Okay.
So we were established in 2023. Britt has been in title for over 26 years. So this is nothing new to her, even though Great North Title is new. Our people that we have here are not new. So that's very important. They're very educated in title. We're a full service title agency. We also will be doing a Title 101 here on the 16th. So kind of like the basement people, I'm sure you guys think that, oh, I know everything about title, but please join us on the 16th. It will be very informative.
Can I just say that it's definitely not the case that all agents know about title, because we just dealt with one where I'm like a very seasoned agent, has no idea about title, not at this company.
Well, good,
But,
leave it to us.
there's things to learn on the title side that I think
Yeah.
as agents, especially with what's going on, knowing every piece of the transaction is going to be crucial. You don't need to know the details, but you at least need to know what goes into what you guys do.
So we will have a flyer that goes around about that date as well to help remind you guys. Proximity is power. So again, Mel's gonna be up here. You can text her, she texts, call, email, whatever your preferred communication style is. Feel free to do that with Mel, she's available. It'll be nice when she's back up here, but if you do have an in-person question,
She'll be kitty corner from my office.
and then aligning with the right people. So how many of you have middle school, elementary school, high school, gone to a different school, had to switch schools in the middle of the year? Yes, I have. And I know that when I go to this new school, first person that asked me to lunch, sitting with. So what happens though when I go and sit down with Bobby Joe and I find out that Bobby Joe is not a great person to be aligned with. I'm kind of now connected to her, but I want to reach out and figure out who are the best people that I should be aligned with. And so maybe you have talked to a different title company in the beforehand, but I think that it's important to know your best option. If you've just used one single title company before and you're just, okay, I'm okay with them, nothing bad, nothing good, reach out to Mel because there's stellar things to say about Mel and her team. So align yourself with the right people. This is kind of a little cheat sheet for you guys. We can email that out to everyone if you guys are interested afterwards, but it's the next for you guys to have for authorized signers. So we'll get that over to you guys. And then this is one of many testimonials for Mel and her team. This is a past client. It's kind of fun when clients, not just the agents, give testimonials because those are the people who are having the experience. I like to say we're not selling a service, we're selling the experience. So for them to know, you know, if they do work with the same agent or a different agent, that they're going to work with us, then speaks volumes. So. And this is the team mail sheet. This is Kelly. So if you ever see her around, she does primarily work from home, but she is a part of the team. And then Jackie and Mel. And then let's do business together.
Do you guys have any questions at all? You answered everybody's questions.
Wow.
Oh, just kidding.
I don't have a question, but I just have I just want to plug that the last 6 transactions I've done were with, Melanie and Great North Title, so go with.
Good.
How many people are currently using Great North? Oh, I was like, hi, Tony. Just shows up. Hi, how are you? Awesome.
I'm just preaching to the choir here.
That's good. That's a good thing though. And if you haven't, you know, I think you'd be happy to meet and talk about kind of what you do and how you do it. So.
Absolutely. You guys answer.
Awesome. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, today we don't have any slides because I kind of wanted to talk, how many of you did value squared? Like 5 people, 6 people. Okay, can I ask the people that didn't, why did you choose not to?
It's just start applying things that I learned at trainings, and I felt like I haven't applied everything I've learned so far, so I just chose not to go to.
Okay, fair. Who else?
Because it was like 3 hours long.
Yes.
Because it was a long time period. So I would say that that particular training was probably one of the best trainings that I have been to in the last 14 years of my career as a real estate agent. No joke. And I have been to Mega Camp, I don't know how many times. I have been to family reunion a ton of times. Do we have one more, or is there another training that's getting kind of layered on top of that? And so many of you haven't seen some of the stuff in there. So that's why I am going to be going over a few of the different topics that they brought up, because I think it's really, really important in the time frame that we're in. I was lucky enough about 2 weeks ago to go to a mastermind with the top producing agents within this area of selling with a particular lender, because she invited me. Because she invited me. And it was really interesting and eye-opening to me when we talk about what's going on in the market, right? Commission-wise and where our value is at. The lack of confidence that even the top agents have when getting asked what their value is and how scared they are or uninformed they are about some of the commission conversations. Today, we're not talking about the commission conversation. We're talking about how many of you can completely articulate what your value is as an agent. If you were asked today, you and I right now, who can articulate what your value as an agent is? Raise your hand. One person. Okay, so do you guys believe that this is something we should be talking about then? Right? The biggest thing that I found interesting is, have you seen this circle? What is this circle? This is the trust circle, right? How many of you seen this in books, trainings, whatever it might be? Have you seen this before? I've seen it a million times. And what was interesting is it was Gary and Jason, and they were just sitting there and this came up, right? How many of you, when you're in your buyer, your listing presentations, ask what's important to that particular seller or buyer? All of us do, right? And what do people usually say? Give me some of the answers.
Money.
Net, right? Price. What's important about the agent they're hiring? Getting the highest price. What else?
Communication.
Communication,
Knowledgeable.
knowledgeable, trust, right? And with all of those answers, we assume we know what they mean by trust. Don't we? Like, I'm gonna tell the truth. Do we really, really know what they mean? Eric, if I was to ask you what trust means to you, if I'm sitting across the table and you're like, I want to be able to trust you, what does that mean?
You're not holding anything back from me,
Okay,
that I'm not gonna find something out later.
okay, so honesty. Okay. How about for you?
About putting like, as a client, like putting my needs first.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Doing what you said you're gonna do.
Okay. Following through? Okay. Who knows the top part of the trust circle? Anybody? It's who just said that? Wendy. So the reason I'm doing this, right, is what would it look like if you put this circle? What if this was your presentation to a buyer and a seller, right? You already have it filled in. What's empathy mean to you?
I think kind of what Kelly was saying, you know, putting yourself in someone else's place before your own and feeling how they're feeling.
Okay.
You understand the stress that they're going through, how big of a life change this is. You know, it's a big thing that they're trusting you with, so understanding that. And
So
they-
understanding authenticity, putting their needs before yours. So what would that look like in a buyer presentation? I'll be the listing agent, right? Chris, do you want to role play with me? Hi, Chris. I'm just curious, when we talk about trust, would you agree that empathy is part of that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, what does that look like for you in this transaction?
Solid, like emotionally during my life crisis, like if there's life event that happens, I need you to be my rock.
Okay. Does that mean that, is that, logically, like to bring logic to those situations and take the emotion out?
Yeah, part of it.
Okay, tell me more about that piece. Why is that important?
Not sure, I think it just, it can help make, people make rash decisions when they're under a lot of stress, so having a second pair of eyes to look over everything and that sort of thing.
Okay, so this is a lot, this is actually what would probably happen if you ask those questions, right? Where they're not really sure. And what happens in a transaction? Has anyone ever been like, man, I don't trust you, or something goes wrong, but yet you feel like you've done everything right? Has anybody ever been in that situation? You know why that is? Because we're all humans, right? And unless we can understand what these things mean to that person and what that actually looks like in the transaction, it's really hard to know how to show up for them. Because empathy might look completely different to Chris than it would to me, than it would to Jack, right? But part of this whole business is what? To build relationships and connection with your client. Would you guys agree? Do you feel like this would be a really good piece to talk about with your client and be able to have them paint that picture for you? And then write down the notes so that when that comes up, which I'm gonna tell you, in most transaction, it comes up that you didn't do something right. Whatever it is, like emotionally, something happens in the inspection, wherever you ask about a price reduction and you did something wrong, right? I mean, that's how you feel, or that's how they make you feel. And you can come back to this piece. Would you guys agree to that? Okay, what's the next piece of trust? Can't be Wendy.
Dependability.
That's one of them. This one's competence, right? Like, yes, spelling and me another thing. What does that mean to you guys? Knowledge.
You know what you're doing.
Well, understanding the contracts.
Okay, so knowledge can mean two different things. Knowledge of the contracts, knowledge could be knowledge of real estate, knowledge of investing, knowledge of the property, right? This gives you the option to say, what does this mean to you? So when you said knowledge, I'd probably, as an agent, right, say, tell me more about what knowledge means to you.
Well, I'm gonna trust you to guide me through this, like you've done this, like I don't know.
Okay. So does that mean, through the contracts, does that mean, guiding you kind of through each house? What does that, tell me more about that.
Like for like the terms and the dollar amount and like, I'm asking for $6,000 a month. Is that realistic? Like,
Okay. Okay, so getting the knowledge base for you to make a decision on if it's the right decision in regards to the contracts and the monetary piece. Anything else about competency that I should know about that's important to you in this transaction?
I think just the process, like knowing what comes next.
Okay. Okay, so being informed of what the next step is all the time, right? So now you're walking them through that piece, right? That looks very different, right, than just, oh, knowledge. Was that deeper than just knowledge? Are we thinking deeper than that as a client, but as an agent, we're like, oh, great, knowledge, I got that. Do you? Right? Maybe they're just concerned about the contracts. Maybe someone's concerned about what the net is. Maybe someone's concerned whether or not you know exactly what goes on in this particular house, if it's a new construction, if it's an older home. You can get into a lot of details in that particular portion. Would you guys agree? Anything else on knowledge at all?
I think a lot of times, the confidence comes into play when you maybe don't know something. If that person trusts you to know that you'll find out.
I would agree with that. Because, I don't know, I feel like some of us have been in the business for a long time, and I can guarantee you, daily, you probably come up against things that are completely new, right? Like, man, I haven't ever dealt with that before. Oh, I haven't dealt with that before. I've heard about that, but I haven't actually had to deal with that. And then you have to go find someone else, right? To figure that piece out. Real estate is such a wide industry that nobody knows everything in this industry. I don't care who you are. Gary Keller would not say he knows everything in this industry. You just don't. It's an ever learning business. Right? All right, next. You know what's next? Starts with T. Transparency? Yep. Okay, what does this mean? Not gonna hide something. I think this is probably one of the most crucial things to ask them. What does transparency mean to you? The reason I think that is because how many people go into a house, they make an offer, and you're like, what are they doing? This isn't even what they wanted. And then you allow them to do it. This question right here, I am guessing, if you were asked it, they're gonna say, I want you to be honest with me. So if someone says, I want a 3-bedroom, a 2-bath, and I want it to be able to do this for my family. I want to be able to have the dog run outside, this, and this. And they go walk into a 2-bedroom, they're gonna maybe makeshift something, you know that's probably not right, and there's no yard, the dog isn't gonna have fun. What is your job in that situation? You know what, let's make this work. Is that what they hired you to do? So I get very, very clear on what transparency means to them. What does honesty mean to them? How direct do they want you to be? Do we ask this question? Either everybody's sleeping or this is like way too like for you all, which I hope it's not, because this is incredibly important. Because if you can nail these 4 things, I can guarantee you're gonna have clients for life. And I can guarantee that the transaction is gonna be a heck of a lot smoother.
That transparency is also pretty important right now with everything going on in the news with the lawsuits and how you get paid.
Fair.
You
So,
know?
so what does this look like? Transparency, right? They're like, well, I wanna know where my money's going. Awesome. Right? And then you get to share that piece of it. How many of you have been super transparent about that previews? Yeah, you guys all go through the buyer rep completely and totally, line by line?
By paragraph.
I'm even gonna call a bluff on that one, guys. I'm gonna call a bluff on that. But that's the piece, right? If you can explain those things to them, do you think they're gonna trust you? They're absolutely gonna trust you. What else about transparency?
Keep them stay focused.
Okay,
Like if they get distracted by that 2-bedroom and they try to make something work.
are we scared of transparency?
Sometimes I almost lost, we almost didn't close on a listing because they wanted net a certain amount. And I said, we're not gonna be able to do that. We are already on the market. And I told them originally, it's your choice what to list at,
Yeah.
but it's not, in my opinion, it's not gonna sell for that. And it didn't sell for that. And we almost took it off the market and we just had an honest conversation and we dropped 25 and it sold in a week after that, and it had dropped more than the 25, but the list price dropped by 25. It was just honesty on being prepared to get it back off the market and waiting more a couple years, basically.
And that's gonna, I mean. But I was with them on Monday coaching, right? And they're like, man, we put these listings on and it's a new thing that we're experiencing. They didn't sell. lots of traffic, lots of interest, we got no offer. Okay? Sometimes this can look not awesome, right? Because I'm guessing going in there, it's like, we're gonna price it to sell, we're gonna get this, 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 and this. And now part of that transparency is taking on, hey, guess what? I'm not really sure what's going on, but what we did is we researched this portion, right? This is how many showings are happening. None of them went under contract this weekend. Right? And then you go from there, right? But I think we run from this conversation. Really tough conversations are scary. Anyone here like having tough conversations? I mean, I actually kind of do. I mean, if you really want to be honest. But they're scary, right? Because they can shift a relationship really quickly. And I would say it can shift it for the better, because when you run from the tough conversation, what happens? It doesn't go away. They find information from somewhere else, right? That could be from friends, that could be from family, that could be from a different agent. And now this whole thing is gone. It's gone. Has anyone ever ran away from a tough conversation and lost a client? Yeah? You guys are really good.
My first client.
Okay.
She wanted to buy a house here in Minnesota, and then she was kind of getting drawn to move out of state, and I said, well, whatever's best for you, and she moved to South Carolina.
Okay. Anybody else? Are we like in deep thought? Like, give me some like head nod, be jumping jacks, what we need.
That client that I was just talking about, I almost lost them
Okay.
because of what I thought the listing would be worth versus what they wanted. And previously to taking the listing, they had met with other agents who still told them that they could sell it for above what we listed at originally. And it was scary having that conversation of, I think that they're wrong, you know? And I think there was some secondary, you know, he's not selling it for below what the other guy said that they could definitely get it for. So I avoided that conversation for a while.
Well, I think, and that's the thing, is once you avoid it, right, it becomes a bigger issue. It's like a snowball, right? So it was like this tiny little issue that you're like, ooh, I just don't really want to talk about it. And then all of a sudden you don't talk about it, and then all of a sudden it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. And that's where either you can lose it, right? Or the conversation becomes even worse. Because now you're like, okay, now we got to talk about this and all the things that came on top of that piece of it, right? All right, what's the last one? Oh my gosh, you guys are so right. It's dependability. What does that mean to you guys? Okay. Following through. What else?
Conflict arises, you're not the one that walks away.
Okay. So that's almost like, I mean, what else could you call that? I mean, that's confrontation. Did you just say, Tony? No, but I mean, I think that's one where, I mean, you could come up with solutions. I think it's like when conflict arises, the dependability of you coming up with a solution versus focusing on the problem, right? How many of you think doing this is going to get you more clients this year? Raise your hand. How many of you think it's going to solidify each and every one of those relationships more than it did before if you did not go through this with them? Do you think that this right here, which is probably going to take you in depth if you did it with them and ask questions in deeper levels, this is going to take you a good 20 minutes with your client as part of that buyer consultation or that seller consultation. Would you agree? So, yeah.
For a client, I guess, kind of open question for everybody here. I've definitely met with people who would be into this and learn, and kind of having it down on paper and creating that circle of trust. And I've met with people who I definitely know wouldn't want to have this conversation in this way.
I'm curious on why you say that.
I've actually had, I want to go through, build my value for you. And I didn't say build my value, but I said I want to go through what I offer for you guys. And as soon as brought feelings in the mix, they're like, we just need you to do the job.
This has nothing to do with feelings. That's the best
The
part.
empathy thing, like, how do you guys want me to communicate? How do you, want to provide my value? As soon as I brought, understanding where they're.
Okay, so ask me that question, because I hate feelings. So ask me that question, right? So what does this mean to me? Like, ask me, because I'm one of those where I would be like, very like, I don't know, do your job, right? So ask me the question and I'll be that buyer.
So as far as building trust goes, a big part of building trust is knowing where you're coming from and understanding, empathizing with your situation. How can we build that?
Okay, can I help with that for a second?
That's why I need
So
to know.
that's why we're doing this, right? Because I think that a lot of people are like, how would I do this? And I would honestly have these words up, right? And be like, hey, you know what? This is what I do for every single one of my appointments. And the reason is because it helps set the framework on how this relationship is going to go. Is that okay with you? That's okay with you? Awesome. So number one in trust is empathy. What does that exactly mean to you? What would they say?
They would say, well,
They would say, you know what, I'm not really a feelings
Yeah, I'm
person. I
not
don't even
feeling-
know what you mean. I mean, I just want you to do your job. Okay, so what I'm hearing right here.
friends, I'm hiring you to do a service.
Absolutely, I can completely agree with you. So what I'm hearing is that you want me to help logically with this, right? But empathy is maybe understanding and understanding your needs. Is that something that you would agree is part of the empathy portion?
That's something I need for you as far as an agent goes. I'm not sure if that's empathy, but yeah.
That sounds great.
That totally agrees with you, but.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, if they're putting up that much of a stop sign and freak out about empathy in that moment in time, I would probably be like, I'm not sure if it's a good fit. Like, because they're gonna be emotional. I don't care if you like feelings, if you don't like feelings, if whatever. Even if it's just monetary, they're still emotional about their money, right? So it's like, they don't have to be like, oh my gosh, it makes me feel so great to cook in this kitchen. But they might be like, man, I want to make sure that you're not wasting my money. That's a feeling, right? So don't assume what they're gonna say and don't shy away from this because they're not a feelings person. Because the answer might honestly be empathy is like, I want you to understand that my money is important to me. Awesome. Tell me more about that. What does it mean? Well, my net is the biggest thing about this transaction. I want you to be able to help me through that portion and understand that that's what's important to me. Great. Right? Like, it doesn't have to be all of the other things. You know what I mean? And if they don't answer it, go past it. Go past it. Great. You don't need empathy. Don't ask me when the inspection comes in to feel bad for you at all. Just kidding, don't. Wendy.
I think this is important and I would probably set it up this way to say this is important for setting expectations.
Yeah, that framework for the relationship and
Yes.
the transaction.
Yeah, just, let's set some expectations because, if I don't know what you expect, then chances are I'm gonna fail that. In that
Yeah.
regard, and trust is broken, you can't get it back. So
Yeah.
let's just start with talking about what are your expectations in this regard.
Can I also tell you that I don't believe that any other agent from any other company is doing that. Not even close. In that mastermind, I asked them, what do you do for a buyer's presentation? And I'm talking, these people do 65 million plus that I was sitting in the room with. And the only thing that they were freaking out about was the commission that they were going to get. And I directly asked one of them, do you believe you're worth your commission? And she looked at me. And she's like, well, sure. If you go into an appointment and you're not doing this and you're not connecting, and then you have the mentality of, sure. How do you think that's gonna go? Not awesome, right? who would find it valuable to go through this in almost like a role play situation with small groups at some point in time to really get good at doing this with a client? Raise your hand. Who would find value in that? Who is like, Kami, I am never going to use this ever in my entire life because I also do not like empathy. Anyone? Because I never did empathy, but I want to think Tam, they were like, she's like, I can't even believe Kami's talking about empathy right now. So Tam only has 3 actually in her presentation. It might be good. I don't like it. Because I think it's important right now to start role playing this type of stuff, right? And honestly, just putting it in the front of that presentation. And after this, do you think that whatever you say in regards to pricing, marketing, or whatever else, do you think that they're gonna mistrust you after going through this whole thing with them?
What do you think is an appropriate amount of time to spend on this?
Let them go. Like, if they're into it and they dive in and it's someone that's engaging with it, you have to be able to read that, right? Let them tell you everything they want to know about competency, right? I want you to have the right inspector. I want you to be able to do this. Great. Tell me more. Tell me more about that, because a successful appointment has 0 to do with you. 0.
What if they don't, like, you start with that empathy and they're not really like giving you feedback at all on it? Like, would you like then give them feedback what it means to you?
Cool. Why don't you start with transparency? Because I feel like this empathy piece is giving people a little bit of a hard time. Start with transparency, right? And I honestly can guarantee, and not just because empathy seems like a sticking point for a lot of people, I'd work on that. I'd take a little look in the mirror, because if you can't talk about this, right, that might not be your client. That might be you and how you approach that. And if you don't have that in a transaction, that might be a place to work on, right? To learn a little bit more and kind of sharpen that skill set. And if you're like, ooh, I don't want to start with that. Cool, start with competency. What does that mean to you? What does transparency mean to you? There's not like a way that this goes, right? It's just how it goes because I put it this way. Shift it on what you feel comfortable with is you. But I would get comfortable with each and every single one of these on your own personal level, and maybe do it yourself first. What does empathy actually mean to you? What does competency actually mean to you? What does transparency actually mean to you? And what does dependability actually mean to you? Because you are a client in every single setting of life. You go into Starbucks. Are you a client? Are you a customer? Whatever way you want to put it. Yeah. What do you expect? What do you expect when you go to a restaurant?
Can I order?
You expect competency, that it's what you order comes out. What else do you expect?
Taste good.
Okay, to taste good.
Transparency, the price on the menu is what you pay.
Oh, I always freak out when there's no prices on it. You're like, this is too expensive that they did not put a price on this menu. And then I'm like, you know what? Oh, my daughter called. Like, I gotta go. What else?
Appropriate amount of food for the price.
Okay. So we are always expecting something, right? And we have our own standards for that. So does each and every single one of your clients. And you can't assume what that is at all. And sometimes I feel like in this industry, we assume that we know what it is because we've done it so much, or this is our normal answer. I've gotten caught in that. Oh, you know what? We get this 1,000 times. Well, I don't care. This is my time, right? This is my transaction. This is my big purchase or my big sell. Understand them during that whole process. Do you think if you went through this on your own that you could answer all these questions for yourself? Pam says no, but we're going to work on empathy together.
I was just gonna suggest too that the Valued Squared is on KW Connect, and so to hear like Gary and Jason and Jay like go through these and talk about it too is really interesting, and to hear kind of what their spin on it. So I encourage everyone to go watch maybe just that part and see their slide of what they put under the head
Well, and this just leads into the other portion. There was a study that there's so many different, surveys that are going out recently, right? About what is the most important thing about real estate to you? What do you believe, agents should be paid? I mean, you go look at all these places, there's studies that consumers are taking right now. And a really interesting one is the number one thing that people are concerned about in a real estate transaction is risk management. Okay, so in next meetings, we're gonna talk about where are all the risks in a transaction? Where are they and how can we minimize those? But in order to do that, this is the foundation. Think of this as the foundation to any of that. Because if they don't trust you and you don't know all these things, how are you gonna manage any risk during that transaction? It's gonna be like things are gonna be thrown at you because you don't have a solid foundation to stand on to help with that. Would you guys agree with that? Have you guys heard about that last study of like risk management is the number one thing that people are concerned about in a real estate transaction? Would you guys agree with that? It's can't remember. I'll send the sourced survey to it. But it was like across the country that's what they're concerned about. They aren't concerned about your marketing. That's not what they're concerned about at all.
They're like three things, like I'm gonna get the most money and when I get with the, least amount of hassle. It's like, or when people say like, what's gonna be most important for you when you list your house. I've heard Julia Lachey say it like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
The most money for the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle. It's like risk management kind of comes into that third bucket.
And when and the reason for this is reshaping our mindset on what this business actually looks like, right? Because we have been on autopilot for at least 4 years. Like autopilot. Leads come in, we're making transactions happen, you're writing 10 offers a weekend, you're doing showings, it's autopilot. When's the last time that you really sat back and looked at your systems, looked at your value, and looked how you actually manage the risk through a transaction? Does anyone do that often? Does anyone do that at all? Raise your hand.
Once a year, there's like a class.
The required module? No, just kidding.
There was a real, I don't know who I think she's at Edina. I think she's the, productivity. Lindsay?
Lindsay Brawley?
Yeah, she just had a class and it went through like values and it seemed like very, I don't know, I feel like I take a class like that every year, so. My answer is every year I do it.
And that's fair. If this is something that is boring to you, or you're like, it just doesn't matter, good luck. Like, honestly, because it's going to matter. Relationships and the connection that you have with your clients moving forward is going to matter. And there are going to be conversations that you have never had before moving forward, which is actually opening up an opportunity. It is not something to be scared of, but if you don't look at it and you don't really take a deep look, then yeah, that should be scary. But if you do, you are going to crush the upcoming market. And I mean, absolutely dominate it. Because if agents that I'm sitting in the room with that are selling what they're selling can't have these conversations, and you come in and you can have those conversations, that is a whole lot of market share. A whole lot of market share.
I think this will save a ton of time.
And
Because
stress.
if you have the wrong expectations of the client going into it, you're gonna get 3 months down the road and someone's gonna be unhappy and you're gonna break up and you wasted 3 months of your time.
And this gives you power. This
For
gives
sure.
you power in, you know what, this is the right fit. I know that these are the expectations and I can do these things, right? And when you do those things and then they're still saying, no, you didn't do them, you get to bring this back out and say, what changed? What changed? These were the expectations. I want to completely be understanding in this because I told you I would, but what changed? And now you get to reframe that relationship, right, at that point in time. And you aren't sitting there racking your brain and being like, oh, I can't wait till this person gets under like, or man, now I feel bad, or I need to pay for this because I didn't do this. You're not gonna be giving away your commission at that point because you did what you said. And you did it in a professional manner. Any questions?
Are you gonna, like, every week, are you gonna cover like a snippet of it?
Unless you guys don't talk, because I don't like when people don't talk.
Soaking in all the knowledge.
Otherwise, we are definitely gonna do the YA course teachers, well, I can't even say it, dance. And then no one's gonna show up. All right, you guys can come up. You can get more energy. You want me to do jumping jacks with you? Whatever.
Well, my name's Ray with America's Preferred Home Warranty. Has anybody heard of us at all?
Alex, is Alex still here?
Oh, she had to go.
Oh, okay.
I come from our corporate office in Jackson, Michigan, and we've established a really good relationship with Kelly Williams across the country. You'll see that our brochure.
You might have to speak up a little bit.
Our brochure is Keller Williams. It almost looks like you're offering a Keller Williams warranty. That's kind of the relationship and the trust that Keller Williams as a brand has with us. But I want to back up real quick. I'm not going to tell you what we cover, that we cover the wax rings around the toilet and stuff. I'm going to tell you how, maybe why you should be offering a warranty to all your clients. Because Gary Keller will tell you that he doesn't know everything about the business, but he will tell you two things that will never change in growing your business. And that's building your database, working your database, and building your source. Do you agree?
I like that tie down. Would you agree?
Just hold on, there's more.
Oh, I can't wait.
So really good relationship. Again, if you want to know coverages and stuff, I have your local rep Holly here with us. We can talk after, maybe throughout the course of time. You can meet with Holly and have some coffee, but I had a big presentation and it's only 5 minutes, but I could not stop thinking about this and think about, this doesn't stop after the loan closes or after the transaction closes, right? What is a home warranty? Risk management. It's a risk management tool. So you have your risk management after closing, and if you do all those things, you're looking for a referral, right? What if you go and you're different than the agent down the road and you're offering the warranty and you cover something 6 months after closing? You just reaffirm all these things? Would you stand out maybe of the agent that didn't offer the warranty? So that just solidifies a possible referral at the end of the year possibly, okay? I don't know.
We didn't even plan this, right?
I know.
We just met, literally at the beginning of the meeting.
I mean, that's our thing, is risk management tools. I mean, we have E&O coverage, we have identity theft coverage, we have, if one of your sellers gets sued by the buyer, we have legal reimbursement, we have stuff like that. We cover all the same stuff the other people you're using here. We just go about the approach a little bit different, okay? But again, I just want to solidify the relationship, and the reason I'm doing this, because you'll probably never see me again. I'm just from the guy from the corporate office riding around with Holly today. But I just want to say some things about the relationship that we have, and maybe that'll spark a, maybe I do want to meet with Holly, okay? Because it's a vendor relationship, possibly, hopefully, but we like to say it's a partner relationship, okay? Two-way streets. So I'm required to read all Gary Keller books. That's the relationship we have. My company, we just came up with an ALC fee. We, on our pillars in our corporate office says God, business, family. God, family, business. So I'm just saying those things because we love Keller Williams. We love Keller Williams. We allow the homeowner to choose their own contractor. That sets us apart from a little different things. That's a risk management tool. Now you know who in the world's working on your client's homes. If Bob can't do it, nobody can. The home warranty company didn't say this person had to use this person. So that's running your own business as independent contractors. It just gets you more involved. Okay? And if someone's furnace goes out, well, we're coming into the AC season. Somebody's AC goes on, they're gonna close on a house now, probably gonna turn on the AC hopefully pretty soon, right? It doesn't work.
Well,
You
don't
don't-
say that. I haven't turned my AC on.
They
Maybe
don't-
we should talk.
Okay.
Just kidding.
You have a homework.
No, never. Call my agent.
If you don't have a home warranty.
I don't trust her. Trust that I can throw her.
Your agent?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I was my own agent.
If you don't have a home warranty on there, you can still be all these things. But I would put one more thing on there in having a resolution. Okay, you can feel sorry for them. You can say, yeah, you're right, your AC did go out. I should have added a warranty. I'll do it next time. But if you offer the warranty on every single client, you're potentially gonna get a hot lead in the future, okay? If someone makes a claim 6 months after closing, we're gonna tell you who it was for, what it was for, and how much it was for. That's not just to tell you, hey, look what we did. It's an opportunity to call that client, say, hey, I heard you had some home warranty work done. How'd it go? Awesome. Didn't even think about a warranty. Didn't even know what it was. Thank you so much. It saved us $3,500. Do you think you probably have a referral for life there? Because you thought about them after the closing, okay? Before I got in this industry, my agent bought me a home warranty. Didn't even know what it was.
Was it a Keller agent?
It was not,
Oh,
but this is a long time.
we'll
ago.
forgive you.
Well, this is a long time ago. I used it within the first year and I renewed 5 years after that. That's how much value as a homeowner I thought the home warranty was. Who do you think I refer all my friends that are asking me, who's a good agent up there? That guy, 12 years later. Okay, so my message here is coverages. Holly can talk to you about that. Think about your why. Your why is to why it could, everyone that I don't offer and they don't accept it, potentially is a lost warm lead. Okay, 36-point touch. 36-point touch. Keller Williams think you should be in contact with your clients 36 times throughout the year. They take a warranty. I put on your calendar 30 to 45 days later after closing, remind them that they even have it. I get phone call after phone call after phone call. Ray, the furnace went out. They forgot they had the warranty. We're not gonna say, sorry about your luck. We're gonna work with the client. But if you call and remind them, especially first-time homeowners, because they're signing everything, they don't know what they're signing, right? They forgot they signed for a warranty. You're bringing that value call. Right? Potentially up to $25,000. Holly can get it with that. I know we only have maybe a minute here left. Can I answer any specific questions about America's Preferred Home Warranty while I'm still here? Like I said, after today, I might be gone. Hollywood will answer your questions, but I say the relationship because the trust is there between our two companies. 1998, we were just a small little Michigan company, and a big reason we're a national company, Alaska, Hawaii, we write checks to KW Cares for the people that Hawaii that got burned down. We're involved in all that. Just the trust is there, and they've made us grow into that kind of a company that we are today. So Keller Williams gave us their first shot. And we're very proud to say that. So we drink the Keller Williams Kool-Aid. Any questions real quick? The brochure's in front of you. We will stay a little later. There's some pulled pork. If you have any what-if questions, if you're using somebody else and you're like, this is how they handle it, how do you guys handle it? Be glad to do that. Holly is right there.
I am your local feet on the
Yes.
street. I asked Ray to come down because he has some of our largest Keller Williams clients throughout the entire company. And I've seen him speak in front of Keller Williams before, and I feel like since he's been in it and lived it for a while now, it's great to hear his perspective and everything he's learned and what we are taught and how similarly we match up as far as companies go. So you can rest assured that when you're partnering with us, you know, some of you in here have used us before, actually. When you're working with us, we have the same moral ethics that we focus our business transactions on, just like you guys do, right? We even have, which you don't know yet, but on our sales meetings calls, we even do fill your bucket now. Okay, we kick it off with that. So when I say we copy, you know, and that's the biggest form of flattery, right? People that copy you. So we are here, yes, just Hawaiian pulled pork for you today. I've kind of hopefully set up an assembly line for you. Plates, buns, meat, slaw goes on top or on the side, and your chips. I've got cards here. If you have any questions, I would love to chat with anybody one-on-one that's willing and open to it. Is anybody in here either Spanish speaking or focusing on the Latin segment of the market? Because we do have materials in Spanish now, if that is something.
Yeah.
Okay, so please remember that, right? I believe that we are unique in the industry when it comes to that. We realized that there was a big gap there, and we believe very much in inclusivity, as do you all. So please reach out. I can email. I've got e-docs. I've got printed docs. I've got sign writers. But I'm so happy to say that we have this all in Spanish as well. That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Wants and needs? What do we got? New listings, buyers, go.
I have a new rental listing going on in Minnetonka right behind Becker High. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4-car garage, 5,800. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And one in Burnsville, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, brand new construction for $2,750. So if you have anyone that needs a place to live while they're building a house or anything like that, let me know.
Awesome. What else? Okay, send everything to Lydia and she will have an email out later in the day. We've got food in the back. Otherwise, have an awesome week.